Hello everyone. Welcome to our brand new anime recap channel. And today we're going to do a recap of the brand new anime series Demon Slayer Season 3. Part 1, first 6 episode. The glimpse of the previous season determines that the two influential upper-rank 6 demons have been dead. The demon slayers are poorly injured and eventually rescued by a Kakushi. On the other hand, the master Obuya Shiki is in a critical condition, but relieved that the two upper-rank demons are dead after centuries. The master is also hopeful for the death of Muzan. In contrast, the Akaza has been called to the Infinity Castle, where the upper-rank 5 demon Gyoko enters in. He terrifies the air with his presence, only while Hantengu is also shivering in fear. Doma, also a demon, irritates Akaza, breaking his jaw and then slaughters his face in half. However, its regenerative ability helps him to get back. Muzan hopes in busy experimenting, which puts the Infinity Castle to stop their breaths. He's extremely pissed off at the incompetencies of his demons and regrets the death of their 2 demons. He pounces the head of Gyoko and pierces it off. Muzan has assigned them different tasks. After a few months, Tanjiro is back in consciousness. The caretakers freak out to see him alive. Inosuke crawls into the ceiling and greets him well. After a few days of rehabilitation training, he's fit as a fiddle. Although he worries about his lost sword, he decides to visit the swordsmith's village. He was taken to the mysterious village by closing his eyes, ears, and nose with the help of different Kakushi. The villagers put on a specific mask to keep their identities hidden. He also met Mitsuri Kanroji in the village and a mysterious boy who seemed to belong to the Wind Hashira. Mitsuri Kanroji is here to marry a strong Hashira boy. The mysterious boy somehow belongs to the Shinazugua family, which seems relatable. They take him to dinner, but he's missing. The pink-haired girl predicts a mysterious secret of this village. Tanjiro heads out to find the secret the next morning, but finds Michiro arguing with a swordsmith. He also finds a red-haired man who is recognizable as he saw him in his dream a few days ago. Michiro humiliates the helpless swordsmith and demands a key to a mysterious box. The red-haired man is not a human, but a robot who keeps on staring at them. Tanjiro finds it rude and hopes to challenge the Michiro, but he's an easy target for him. He punches him hard and instantly blacks out when he interrupts him for the second time. They've been spied on by another swordsmith called Hotoro Haganazuka, who disappears after Tanjiro wakes up. Tanjiro asks about the Yoriichi Type 0 and much iron, so it's been revealed that the Yoriichi Type 0 was developed by the ancestors using advanced technology nearly 300 years ago. It has 6 hands and multiple moves, enough to kill a human easily. Michiro wins by taking the key of its activation and starts practicing with it. Tanjiro is amazed to see him fighting. Tanjiro also gets to know that he saw the ancestors of this village in his dream, but not the robot because it's common here to see the memories of them in dreams. The little swordsmith fears the damage to the robot because once it's damaged, it can't be repaired as they don't have such technology. He rushes to the bark of a tree in fear, but Tanjiro motivates him to fight for the robot because he also has 2 motives in his life that might not be possible to accomplish in his current life. However, he'll keep on fighting for them. The little swordsmith is encouraged to go and see his robot, but Michiro threatens them by showing the cut arm of the robot. They rush to the robot and see the damaged one lying on the earth. Tanjiro repairs it somehow and starts training with it to become stronger than Michiro one day. The little swordsmith keeps motivating him with continuous cheering and prohibits the food and water for it. After a nightmare of his death, Tanjiro's sense of smell has been repaired completely, and he starts fighting like a pro. He pierces the head of the robot and finds a 300-year-old sword in it. Tanjiro and the little swordsmith argue about keeping the old rusty sword and resist giving it to Hotaru Haganazuka. However, when he claims that he'll polish the sword in 3 days, they agree to hand it over. He has to stay for 3 more days in the village, and he spends these days making friends with Genya. They also recall when Genya lost his teeth, but now his teeth have been repaired completely. However, he's continuously rude and arrogant, pushing him away from the room. A random swordsmith gets in touch with a mysterious pod that sucks him inside and then pukes it out after a few minutes. The swordsmith has lost his life, and Gyoko appears here with Hantengu to destroy the village because they want to weaken the demon slayers. Genya steals the Tanjiro sword. On the other hand, Handing enters the room where Michiro and Tanjiro are talking about a missing swordsmith. Michiro instantly removes the sword and uses the 4th form of mist breathing technique, shifting flow slash. The demon escapes even the sunflower thrust move of Tanjiro. Nezuko also tries to fight the demon, but he's prohibited from doing that. Michiro slits out the head of the demon, but the move helps the demon to regenerate into 2. Now Tanjiro and Michiro are fighting separately. Both demons are flashes of sadness and happiness now, which blow Michiro out of the house. He falls into the forest, but Tanjiro and Nezuko hold the roof tightly. Michiro cut them off and they regenerate into 4. A birdie demon takes Tanjiro with him and flies in the air. Genya has been stabbed by another one. Tanjiro cut the claw of the demon, but one more regenerates. Michiro is rushing to save the village but sees a giant demonic fish attacking the little swordsmith. He ignores him because he's not worthy of wasting time, but when he remembers the kind words of Tanjiro, he agrees to save him and cut the fish's fins. Michiro finds a pot at the back of the fish and figures out that the fish is just a substitute, but not the demon itself. He breaks the pot, and the fish dies. He's about to leave, but the little swordsmith asks about saving the Otaru and one other swordsmith. Michiro doesn't seem to be interested, but the motivational talk of the master encourages him to save them. He rushes toward them. On the other hand, Tanjiro is stuck with the bird demon who is continuously regenerating and throwing the sonic attack on him. He somehow manages to escape the attack and destroy 3 of them by cutting their tongues, because their weak points lie in their mouths as they have different emotions written on them. Genya seems dead, but he starts enchanting the scriptures of the Amida Sutra, which helps in healing. He jumps on the demon's back and decides to cut his head. However, another demon throws an electrifying attack on him. The other demon stabs his feet into Nezuko's stomach and then punches her hand, but he blows them off by throwing her demonic blood on him. She uses the same blower fan weapon and throws him away. Another demon finds the chance, stabs the spear into Nezuko's throat, and then burns her with electric shocks. While Tanjiro is worrying about Azuki and Genya, he stabs the sword into the demon's face and uses him to fly to the house. He notices Nezuko in shock, and Genya is again reading the Amida Sutra. He cleverly uses the sword to pierce his tongue and then save Nezuko. The demon tries to kill Tanjiro, but Nezuko uses the blood demon art to destroy them. Another demon comes in with their demonic fan and blows them away. They both fly away and faint out after that horrific blow. In contrast, several giant fish have been thrashed in the village and started eating people. Mitsuri Kanroji finds out about the calamity through the significant crow and rushes to save the village. Michiro finds the swordsmith who has lost his sword in a nearby store, so they rush to save Hotaru Haganazuka with that sword. But Michiro senses a demon, and here it comes, the fierce Gyoko. On the other hand, the Mitsuri Kanroji reached the village and rescued the swordsmiths with excellent moves of his swordsmanship. She slits and thrashes the fish pots and destroys them like a piece of cake. Then she rushes to the chief's place, which has been ruined, and all the guards are dead. Her sword is a flexible weapon that was designed by her only. She pierces all 4 pots of the giant fish and turns its body into ash. His chief has been rescued. Tanjiro is taking Nezuko out of this place, but the demon throws an electric jolt at them and blows the fan. They fly away, holding each other through the sword to keep in touch. They're stuck in the debris of several buildings destroyed by these attacks. In contrast, many iron attacks the yoke, but it can travel from one place to another easily. He also showed them the killed swordsmiths of the village, who were sobbing and screaming in pain. They find it heart-wrenching, and Michiro keeps on attacking him. However, his vitality and strength are not compatible with him. Gyoko also produces 2 goldfish, which throw them with poisonous needles. Michiro saves the other 2 and gets stabbed by tiny needles. He rushes to kill Gyoko, but he keeps on dodging his attacks. He continues creating several pots and uses the blood poison pot technique to block his breathing passages. He tries to cut the water, but it's not that easy. Nezuko keeps holding the sword of Tanjiro and converts it into a fiery, blazing sword. He's also having a flashback of his ancestors about the red sword, which makes him even more motivated to deal with the demons. The demon watches the Muzan and a demon slayer fight in a flashback, making their master man half dead. Mustering up all their courage, he uses the fiercest attack of Dragon Sun Hallowed move and determines that if he cuts the heads of all these 4 demons at once, then they can all be dead. He predicts right, and they're all dead with the most charismatic move. Tanjiro rushes to find Genya and sees him in front of a demon with a sword stabbed into his stomach. He's behaving strangely because he's turned into a demon. His teeth have been enlarged and his eyes turn hollow black. Unfortunately, the 4 demons are revived and he finds out he's wrong. He also senses a 5th demon nearby and thinks that killing the 5th demon might be the key to killing them all. Genya chokes the Tanjiros and tries to threaten him, but he's relieved to see that Genya is fine. Only his facial features have been changed, but he's their friend only. Genya just wants to kill them all instead of letting Tanjiro do it. Tanjiro reveals the 5th demon is in between the trees. Kanya rushes to find and kill it. At the same time, Nezuko and Tanjiro escape the wind attack of the other two demons. Nezuko has been stabbed with the sword, but Tanjiro rescues her. Muchiro is stuck in the watery attack. Tanjiro has become more fierce and powerful, so he attacks two at once while Nezuko blows fire at one. Genya eventually finds the fifth demon, who has become the size of an ant. He uses his sword and shotgun, but in vain. Another demon is just behind Kanya and tries to kill him, but he recalls his abusive home environment and the death of his siblings. He lost his family to a random demonic attack. Genya also remembers the promise he made to his brother. Also, he wants to see the pride for himself in his brother's eyes. In the meantime, Tanjiro rescues Genya. The upcoming episodes are on their way. Keep watching. We'll bring the next part for you as soon as possible. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more freshly brewed content. Stay tuned.